I think I'm going to have timing issues today. And those that don't know what that is, I'm sorry. It's basically like you have an internal thought and it matches up with someone else's action or the TV or what have you, and you think, oh, that's a coincidence. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Let me rephrase that I call it pattern recognition is what I call it. Let me go ahead and do a visual. I look like shit, but that way you can see my mouth move. And I apologize if I'm covering the mic. Alright, let's see. It's in settings. 6:36. I got the times on there, settings, and then camera. Alright, so I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. Alright, so you got that. Oh, dude, I want to bleach it. Like, so bad. It looked actually not that bad when it was bleached. But then I got to dye it, and I haven't figured it out. I may do a 4th of July theme. So, red, white, and blue. But I haven't figured out how I'm going to do the pattern. Because if I do right, left, center, then people are going to correlate. One side's hot-headed and the other side's not. Oh, I could do that. That would actually work out well. The 7 rings. But, so, let's put it in a narrative we can all understand. So, there's a trinity, all right? There are 3 entities, let's say angels, miracles, what have you, items that are beyond my reach that created this narrative, okay? They are of the same source, okay? This energy, this information stream, they influence one another, but yet are separate in their thoughts. You have the different age ranges as well. You've got, and at that point, I think we flip to 4, because you've got the all creator, and then you've got the three entities after that. So all stemming a lineage of the same source of information. So then we'll take the biblical route and then say that everyone, after they found each other, lost how to communicate to one another. So basically, the Tower of Babel, I don't know. That's an internet thing that you can learn different languages. I mean, I understand the correlation. I think it's kind of offensive, but, teach their own. So, I'm currently at an RCF in Farmington, Missouri, and get stressed out immensely real quick. Mostly because there's mimicry. My patterns, the way I talk, makes people smile, and then they catch certain aspects of it. Now, with that being said, I don't think I'm the lead role here. I really don't. So I know that I'm just a background player. If this were a movie, I'd be an extra, and if this were a movie, I'd be the dead extra. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the professional, non-background, and I explained that actually in an audio clip that I think I sent someone. But basically, you have the right on public domain, Creative Commons 0, use my image, use my voice, throw it in the background of your movie. That's the whole goal. That way the meta connection can be Joshua Timothy Sisk. And then I'll just keep arguing that the smaller lowercase Greek symbol for pi is a uppercase T, then backwards case capital J with an S over it, JTS, Joshua Timothy Sisk. So that'll be my battle, and at the same time, I'm never going to solve it. So on Reddit, I'm going to, there was a post that has been deleted. Man, they deleted so much recently. They're just not letting me get through because they just think it's chaos order. But I keep explaining. I'm like, it's a 20 cycle movement, okay? And it circles on itself. You pick a piece up and then you roll it through, and then it makes sense, and then more will start clicking, and it's just this recursive cycle. We can agree we all go through cycles. So It's a word that's used a lot. So think of a wheel. Sometimes you need a break, and then you get the figure 8 happening, or the infinite symbol. And you can go from up to down, and then you start correlating science and waves, which I'm not getting into. That's someone else's job. But if you look up pi, where p is 16 and a is 1, 16 is p, so you go 169 is pi, spelled out in the English form, and you look that up in the numerical expansion. It appears at position 40, and then you put position 40 into the search criteria, see when that first appears, and it appears at position 70, etc. I've put that on the commentary of my YouTube feed. I'm going to say feed. Well, it's either channel or feed, depending on if you're a cow or an alien, but they have a symbiotic relationship, I guess, because aliens like to harvest farts, and cows are the best to give it to them. But they both stay away from Texas, obviously, so because they don't go that way. So think of Europe and America at that sense too. So we're not talking aliens, we're not talking cows, we're talking human beings as Americans. We don't go to Europe. You don't touch Europe. If you have any questions about that, visit Ron Swanson, look him up from Parks and Rec, and you'll understand. You just don't. You collect gold, you do fiat currency, you do actual money, not digital currency. That's for the fruit bags that want to be an alien or a superhero or whatever. Fuck them. All right. Anyways, I'm way off topic. Recentering myself. So these 3 individuals, they figured out a pattern. A building block that is both infinite and static at the same time. Where you have a predestined choice matrix. All right? And then there's a pinnacle point that it switches over into the fate, destiny thing. But it's the same cycle, just opposite ends. So you have your dreamed reality or dreamed nightmare. And then you got that center point. That center point of the infinite symbol then becomes the Ouroboros, I think. Is that the snake eating its own tail? But the thing is it doesn't. It just keeps growing. It just keeps growing. Each cycle, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Every time it eats a pellet, like the old T9 cell phones that used to have snake on it, every time you eat one, it grows. So, yeah. That's a hard one to picture because the way they have it set up like that. Yeah, and I'm not going to describe the little cheats that I've got, but that's basically it. On prior community posts, I posted the reason for the egg at position 625. So if you count the 3, it would be 625, and then that is EGG 13427 577. So that's 577-134-27-577. Literally 5 characters inside of 2 eggs. All right. So, and then if you search the next 2 eggs, it happens again. 818. All right. If you think of those as fingertips and one thumb connected, or 4 corners of a square, starting and creating a capital N or a capital Z, then you're on your right track. So, but the correlation, how did I do that? For that to work, you would go, you would put the alphabet letters in the vertical chart, and then you would count to 25 on the columns. So on the rows, it would be start with capital A, B, C, D, You put A where that first blank symbol is, that first top corner on the left top, and then you count it through to Z. And then you start doing lower cases, and you'll end at M. Now, you can keep them all capital and do it in reverse. It's still, the fact of the matter is it stops at M. And if you try to be fancy with it, you go to Z and then go backwards and then do lowercase symbols from that Z. Because you don't have to, the Z is the same shape, both forward and backward. So, then you would do Y. So go Y, Z, Y, and then go that down. It would go to N then, and which will work out, because that works out in binary with T and N, which I showed in my first video on this channel, that I didn't describe. It was like, there's a white piece of paper that shows up on my face. I was in a white hoodie, which I miss very much so, but I understand why I don't have it, because I'd still be wearing it. It's like my safety blanket. So even if it got torn to pieces, I would keep pieces of it with me. But I understand. You have to let go of things sometimes. So, and that's you letting go. There's a difference. So, and trust. So, trust that that you will become better during that time that you're gone. And then, hopefully explain yourself to enough people so they understand how you work. So, there's a gentleman here, which I won't say a name, but he keeps saying he's going to create this game. And I'm like, you're fucking people up by saying that, which I do that with as well, which I don't have a problem with. But he's describing a lot of movement is what it is, with the celestial bodies of planets versus Earth versus ocean. And he's tying it together quite well recently, but he gets lost in his terminology. And he understands where the science is going, but when it comes to numbers and writing it out, there's a definite disconnect. So, and he relies heavily on ChatGPT, which then goes back to my AI reference. Is the AI just queuing them up so I would have a conversation with them? I don't know. Pattern recognition? Doesn't matter. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. So, anyways. Some of the shit that comes out of these people's mouth, though, oh my God, I would never say. And they don't understand how inappropriate it is. But maybe they're in a reality opposite of mine, and that's all they can say here. So I've got to figure that out. And there was an episode of Lucifer where I want my home back is what was said, and my house back. So that was the mother. So, and I didn't watch that with my mother, actually, but she definitely did watch that when it was out. That was during my psychosis times. I do remember loading it on the TV quite a few times. So, the conversation I was having, the overarching conversation I was having, so, and it was an apology more than anything. So, I hope that helps my sister, if she does listen to this. But it was just basically an apology for having to go. Yeah, you'll have to figure it out. I think it's in the end of the first season or right at the beginning of the second. They're up in Lucifer's apartment, and she had just made macaroni and cheese. So, all right, I'm going to leave it at that. You have a good day. God bless.